Good day and welcome to SCO BRICS Insight, where we look at what's really going on in the world of the BRICS. Now today I want to talk about Gazprom, the world's largest natural gas company, who has the largest reserves of the natural gas companies in the world, which is calculated at around 24% of the global discovered total. Now, many of you are aware that Gazprom had a record loss in 2023. But you might not actually understand that most of that was actually write-offs from the stolen assets by the EU and individual European governments. Now, following this record loss in 2023, which was its first loss since 1999, Gazprom this year has exceeded all expectations, generating a revenue of $46 billion. Significantly, European customers have played a pivotal role in driving this growth by maximising their purchases through the currently available gas pipelines, Turkish Stream and the Ukrainian. Now, the impact of the loss of the Ukrainian supply route on Gazprom's finances are now key considerations, but let's look at the facts. Gazprom reported higher than expected income this year, and the company's deputy chairman of the management board, Famil Sagiov, he said gas revenues are expected to reach 4.6 trillion rubles, which is $45.8 billion, which is 155 billion rubles more than the initial plan. This will also exceed last year's revenues from gas sales. That's not counting the write-offs. This is a stark contrast to the company's financial performance last year. I mean, the company's loss last year, which was the first loss since now, was because of the write-offs. Now, gas exports to Europe this year have actually increased considerably. Over the last 11 months, supplies have increased by 26%, reaching 30.3 billion cubic meters. Now, that accounts for approximately 11.1% of the total volume of imports to Europe, up from 8.4% last year. By the end of the year, supplies are expected to grow to 31 to 33 billion cubic meters. In conjunction with Russian LNG, the total supply of Russian gas to Europe could end up at 52 billion cubic meters. Now, before I continue, I'd like to make an appeal. If you like and enjoy my videos, you can help me fund the channel and my website, scobricsinsight.com, and further develop it. You can do this by making a small donation, which you can do by clicking on the thanks button at the bottom of the video screen. Everybody who donates does get a personal thank you from me, and I'm thanking you all now. Now, since the beginning of 2024, Russia's provided 18.3% of EU's total gas imports via pipelines, compared with 14% in 2023. Most of it is accounted for by pipelines through Turkish Stream. Now, it's also worth noting that LNG supplies from Russia to Europe have increased by 18% this year, reaching 19.3 billion cubic meters. So what's driving the increased purchasing of Russian gas by European customers, bearing in mind they keep claiming that the US is their saviour? Well, primarily pipeline supplies are more cost effective than those on the spot gas exchange. In 2044, it found itself in a pricing environment that was particularly good. I mean, the gas price linked to the exchange price with a time lag of several months is actually quite beneficial to Gazprom. During the period under review, when the price of gas rose for the majority of the year, Gazprom didn't raise its prices. Consequently, for the customers that it had, who were used to dealing with them on a long-term basis, they basically made the record level of daily pumping by Gazprom. By the close of 2024, the delivery volume through the pipelines to Europe is expected to exceed 33 billion cubic meters, and that's up by 2.5 billion cubic meters compared with last year. Now, at the same time, the average price on the European gas market has actually remained similar at elevated levels of 2023, but with increased sales volumes. That means that Gazprom generates higher profits. In addition, Gazprom's Power of Siberia 1 reached its designated capacity a month earlier. That's the one that goes to China. In November, according to the contract, deliveries were supposed to be increased annually The target for 2024 was to deliver 30 billion cubic metres, with the expectation it reaches designated capacity of 38 billion cubic metres in 2025. However, deliveries have consistently exceeded this target, and the contract with China also includes a 9-month lag in the gas price indication, which is related to the oil price index, and that means Gazprom benefits because it sells gas based on oil prices above $85 a barrel, so that's advantageous for China because it's cheaper compared to the prices on the Asian exchanges. Another factor is the growth of sales to Uzbekistan. It was just next to Russia, of course, and its former Soviet Republic. In 2023, Gazprom delivered 2.8 billion cubic metres, but in 2027 it will be 11 billion cubic metres because gas production in Uzbekistan is in decline while consumption continues to rise. So Gazprom's compensating from this imbalance through its supply. In the first 9 months of 2024, Gazprom increased its gas exports to Central Asian countries by double the amount compared to 2023. Additionally, gas supplies to the Russian domestic market are on the rise, driven by a surge in industrial growth and energy consumption. Now, gas prices in Russia are set on an annual basis, which is why revenues increase even when the same volume of supplies to the domestic market, and Gazprom benefits from that. Now, it's also worth noting that in its initial forecast, Gazprom usually includes an annual average price for its national gas that's normally lower than the actual price that they've received during the year. So, in 2025, it's likely that gas supplies via Ukraine will cease, and these currently are about 15 billion cubic metres per year. However, analysts are confident that Gazprom will lose a lot less than all 15 billion cubic metres. I mean, personally, I anticipate that Gazprom will be able to redirect at least 5 billion cubic metres to the Turk Stream pipeline. So it's only a 10 billion cubic metre decrease in supplies to Europe. Now, with a price of $350 per 1,000 cubic metres, Gazprom is not going to lose that much from the sales. But Ukraine will lose the transit fees, which it desperately needs if it's only just to line the pockets of the corrupt runners of the naphtha gas of the Ukraine. Now, analysts at Broker World of Investment anticipate that the 5 billion cubic metre reduction in gas supplies from Europe next year is not going to be that significant. I mean, yes, the European market was most lucrative for Gazprom, and the loss of 10 billion cubic metres is substantial, but it's not fatal. Overall, Gazprom anticipates a favourable economic outlook for 2025 and further growth and enhanced performance compared to 2024. The company is going to be able to offset the losses in Europe by gas supplies to China, with the simultaneous gasification of northeast Kazakhstan, which is just down where I am. Now, that's now been happening. I mean, the Russian Ministry of Energy has published details of Gazprom's gasification of the northeast of Kazakhstan. The capacity of the gas pipeline, which is called Russian Federation, Uzbek Federation, China, with the outlet would be 40 billion cubic metres per year, and it's going to cost 4.2 billion. Now, that main line will run from north to south along the eastern border of Kazakhstan, along the Omsk-Pavlodar semi-route with branches to Kyrgyz and Dosk on the border with China. Plus, Gazprom's increasing supplies to China anyway, and that is now going to exceed the previous exports to Europe. So the company is expected to increase the Power of Siberia to 38 billion cubic metres per year next year, and the launch of the Far Eastern route from the Sakhalin fields with an initial capacity of another 10 billion. So the only real redirection of gas supplies can be the Kazakhstan route of Power of Siberia 2, which is in the planning. So Russia's not that absolutely bothered. The supply of gas from the western fields, which are where the resource base for Europe, will be maintained, and they'll use them initially for developing the gas supplies for an increase in industry use here. Now, just remember, 2023 was a different year. These losses were attributable to two factors. Gazprom wrote off the value of its subsidiaries. Gazprom Germany, Gazprom Austria, Gazprom France, etc., and then they had to pay an additional introduced mineral extraction tax base because they were making too much money out of pipeline gas. That tax is scheduled to be revoked in end of this year, so they're not really going to have a bit of a problem. So, as you can see, Gazprom's back in the money and Europe is freezing and starving because of those stupid politicians now. Thank you for watching. Please like and share and subscribe, and if you want to help me, click on the thanks button at the bottom of the screen and make a small donation. See you all again soon. Thank you.